Hey guys, it's Gus, and I'm here in the Whispering Caverns with what appears to be the overwhelming vast majority of Neverwinter right now. This is great. I don't know about other platforms, but on PlayStation, it's popping. Um, when you look at the instances, when you get towards the end, they'll start dying down. But we have like 80 plus instances. Yeah, 84. This one just emptied. As the making of this video, it's 8:30 p.m. Eastern, like 2:30 in the morning European. So the vast majority of players are probably sleeping right now, getting ready for work Monday. But this has been busy all weekend, and we haven't seen something like this in quite some time. And we really haven't seen this since this module came out. Because this module is bad and it's horrible. And we tried telling them because we knew how bad this mod was going to be. You know, make an empty dungeon with absolutely no reason to run it, and an empty zone with no reason to be in there. And you're just creating a recipe for players not to log on. And unfortunately, all the feedback we got was mysteriously deleted from their official feedback. We don't know how, but it was deleted so they couldn't get the feedback to make this module better. But, anyways, the reason I bring up how busy the game is right now is I suspect come Thursday, this game's going to go into a deep hibernation for at least another month. Because after this event, there's not a lot of reasons for players to log on. You know, if you're newer to Neverwinter, awesome. You know, get your boons up. If your character's maxed out, and you want to make a support or a DPS, do that. And you can because you have nothing but time because there's really no reason to run any of the current content right now once you've completed it. You know, you're not going to be running this dungeon to gear up for the next dungeon because they've basically made all of the gear from this dungeon obsolete next in the coming modules. We don't know why, but they did. Maybe there's a master plan we don't know about. But I just suspect for the game to be super low. So when you log in and you look at your friends list, or you go into zone chat trying to make a group, or you're looking around in your guild and it's looking kind of sparse, that's because we just got a big, huge influx of players, and they're going to be all gone. Just like the salmon spawn run, right? They come rushing in, and all of a sudden they're gone. You know, guilds that have been sitting at 5 or 10 active players now are having 30 to 40 active players from what I've seen, and it's awesome. That means players that aren't actively logging in every day are still paying attention to this game and care about the game. They're just waiting for a reason to come back. Uh, Number two, if you didn't know, this event has something very, very good. I don't think people realize how good this red dragon is. This mount's amazing. You cannot buy this mount in the Zen market. You cannot get it out of any pack. The only way to get this mount is to do this event 5 times. And if you miss it, it's gone. It probably will not come back until next year. So if you miss it, you have to go a whole year without getting it again. And what I'm bringing this up is I don't think most players realize how good this red dragon is. This is not a support mount. This is a DPS mount for 10-man content because I believe the meta is shifting. I believe the group will benefit more from this red dragon than it would benefit from the Bigby's Hand, Toad, Tunnel Vision, Golden Touch, whatever 3K magnitude mount you were using that you replaced this with. You're going to lose damage, but the group's going to gain more than you lost. And any hoster of in-game content knows how important that is because they don't give a shit about your DPS. They care about the group's damage output. This mount's really good, guys. I have a feeling the meta is shifting because typically right now what you'll see in most groups is 2 tanks, 2 healers, 6 DPS, 2 tanks and 2 healers on support mounts that buff the 6 DPS and the 6 DPS running a magnitude mount. What I believe is going to happen is now we're going to have at least 5 players using support mounts because you're losing 3,000 magnitude, but you're gaining 7 to 8% more damage. Even though it says 15%, it's unless your outgoing damage is at 0%, you're not going to gain 15% damage from this. You're going to gain like 7 or 8. But you're still losing. You still need like 12% more to make up for that magnitude. Well, the group, if you buff everybody by 6 to 8% from this, you're going to gain, the group's going to gain way more than what you're losing. This mount's good, guys. And you're going to need it on more than one character. So, you're hosting and you're trying to decide who's going to be on the Red Dragon, which DPS is going to be on it. I'll take it every time. I don't give a shit. I want to open the chest. Typically, who you to put this on is the player with the least experience in the dungeon or the known lowest damage dealer. That's who's going to be on this Red Dragon, which I don't mind. That's actually many times me. I would do it just to make the hoster's life easy so they didn't have to pick. But the two classes that will not be on this, unless they're new or inexperienced, would be the Arbiters and the TRs, because those two classes, the groups benefit from those two classes using a magnitude mount more so than the other classes. So this Red Dragon is very underrated. If you're a DPS, you want to get this mount. Uh, I could be wrong. My math could be wrong. I don't think it is though. I don't think it is at all. As a matter of fact, the meta might be more than 5 debuff mounts, and we just don't know it yet. More to follow on that because I'm testing it very closely. Number 3, the amount of farmers is awesome. There is way more farmers here now than there was last year. That was probably because of the botched attempt to put the legendary insignias in the protector bounty boxes. But this was still an excellent farm because you could make so many consumables. It sold for a very nice profit. But there's way more farmers this year. And those farmers are getting millions. I'm not saying hundreds of thousands. They're getting millions of renown. And they're going to buy thousands and thousands and thousands of Elminster lunchboxes and get thousands and thousands and thousands of squash soups and watermelon sorbets and grand feast and caprices. So what I suspect, coupled with what I have seen, is that we need to temper our expectations on our profits from this event and the summer festival. I could be wrong. There is absolutely no data to support it. But the number of players that has PM me in the game, on my PSN, or on Discord saying, hey, I'm at number 30. I only have 20 more to go and I'm ready for Summer Festival. That's amazing. That means players are investing in their accounts and trying to take advantage of what this game has to offer us. But what I expect is the number of farmers is going to drastically increase this event and summer event. And if that's true, that means the number of resources in the game is going to increase as well. So that means the supply could possibly exceed the demand or lessen the demand, which means the prices are going to go lower. My prediction, I made a 5 cohort bet earlier today, is that we on PlayStation 4 will not see squash soups hit 100, or sorry, will not see squash soups hit 300,000 K stack one single time in this upcoming year. Not because players won't want squash soup, but because squash soup is going to be, and there's going to be so much more of it just from this event and the summer event festival. Which is fine. If you're a farmer, there's still a ton of AD be made. But you can't expect to be getting 300K a stack for squash soup is what I'm trying to tell you. And I could be wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong because I'm going to have so much of it, as everybody who follows this channel knows. I'm going to have a mountain of it. I'm still trying to sell it because I have so much of it. I don't expect to ever be selling it at 300K a stack again. Just because the community is growing and it's getting smarter. And they're realizing if they invest the time, instead of running a random queue when they get off work, to go and make another character, in the long run, they're going to make way more AD out of that new alt they just made than they will be running that dumbass RAQ for hopefully less than a half hour, if they even pass it. So, so what's the point? What are you trying to say, Gus? I'm trying to say is farming is still great. Just don't have the expectation that you're going to be making potentially a billion AD off of it. Maybe it's possible. I just don't see it happening. But hundreds of millions, definitely. And I know players are farming these insignias like crazy. And if you've been watching the auction house, insignias are dropping hard, which is great because now it's better, never been a better time. Oh, I'll just buy these four. I'll buy these ones too. I'll buy these ones too. Now it's never been a better time to buy insignias. They're so cheap, but it's a gamble because the goal is that they're going to come out with celestial insignias. And the devs basically flat out and said they're coming. It's not a matter if they're coming, it's when they're coming. So we can expect they're coming. And if the insignias behave anything like the enchants, we know prices will skyrocket the second it gets announced. On the Celestials, RP refinement point went up 800% in 2 days. It was amazing. Gold skyrocketed. Prez Wards, Co Wards, they all well, Prez Wards took a while. Co Wards skyrocketed. Everything went up. Co Wards went up almost 100,000 within 2 days. So we can expect the Celestials to follow suit, unless the developers put something in the Zen market that's super, super cheap, insignia that's priced at nothing to get that insignia powder. I mean, that's very possible. But I'm gambling, and I'm very fortunate where I have the resources to gamble, but not everybody does. But I'm gambling that this insignia that we're farming like crazy is going to pay off. We don't. I don't think the auction house is representative of how low the insignias are going to go, because I have a feeling that the vast majority of players farming this event haven't opened a single box yet. They're waiting till the end of the event, leave their guild, open their boxes, go back on their guild, and count up all their booty. So I think there's a lot more insignia powder out there that's going to be realized at the end of this week, at the end of this event. We'll see. Uh, but I've been stocking up. I got all these boxes. I opened like 200 of them the first couple hours that this event came because I was streaming it. But I haven't been opening any since. But I have been buying and trading for a ton of legendary insignias, and my goal is to get much, much, much more, and hopefully capitalize on this event. Because a lot of players, they need AD right now, and I'm more than willing to help them out. I'm probably overpaying because I have a feeling insignia powder will go even lower before the event's over. But I'm not the only one doing this. There's many other players stocking up. So we'll see. This event's kind of crazy. We haven't seen something like this in a long, long time in Neverwinter. Mm, Number four. So there's a lot of new players coming to Neverwinter, which is awesome. Anybody who enjoys Neverwinter wants to see new players. The more, the better. Millions of players. That's what we all want, right? Well, anyways, that's probably not going to happen. But what we got to do is all the players who do join, we want them to stay. And what I'm seeing is a very common, what I believe, misconception going around with newer players. A lot of new players, their biggest worry is their stats. And I'm going to say this, and I could be so wrong because there's no way everybody else can be right, and I'm right as well. I'm probably very wrong at this. My assertion is, God, I'm going to get slammed in the comments for saying this. My assertion is your ratings are the least important thing you have to worry about in this game ever until you hit master content. If you're doing random queues, if you're doing reapers, if you're doing advanced dungeons, your ratings have zero effect on that group completing that content at all. What I think's affecting groups' content is so many players don't understand how this game is designed. This game is designed around one thing. This artifact that goes right here, your daily and your mount power. In that 10-second window, you're going to do more damage than you will for the other 50 seconds of that dungeon. The 50 seconds remaining after you do your artifact call is basically to build your AP bar for your next artifact call. So what I don't think a lot of players are doing is learning their rotation for that 10 seconds, investing in a mythic debuff artifact, and investing in their mount and knowing how to use their daily all in a row. Because you'll see some players that pop their artifact and then that mount comes out in half a second before half the other artifacts even went off, and their mount just lost millions of damage. You gotta time it. And you do an artifact call, you can take the 5 worst players in Neverwinter and complete any advanced content in this game, no problem. And I've proved this so many times. And what I think's happening is players are spending so much time, so many resources, cash, money, astral diamonds, you name it, trying to figure out their ratings. When their ratings won't even help them complete that content unless they're able to solo it. They need to learn how to use their artifact, their mount, and work as a team and do their rotation. When you get to master content, you got to know that and know your stats. You can do master content with the best stats in the world, but if your group's not doing artifact call, there's a very good chance you're going to fail that dungeon. People are going to be blocking each other after calling each other names. And I'm going to get invited for the last boss to just come help get an easy complete. So avoid that. Learn how to use your artifacts. Learn how to use your mount and your daily and your rotation at 10 seconds. And your ratings will have absolutely zero effect on anything for any content you're running until you start running master content. God, I'm going to get slammed for that. Because I see it. It's such a common question in Reddit, on Facebook, in the Discord. Their stats. It's like, why are you worrying about your stats? Just last week, I'm doing one of my 3 advanced Imperial Citadels again, because I have to do it every week for that dumbass Cosmic Pearl. And I had an 86,700 item level DPS in the group who did not have a mythic debuff artifact. They didn't have a mythic artifact at all. And I'm wondering, how is that possible? And the reason why I think it's possible is because so much advice out there is to say, worry about your stats, worry about your ratings. I'm telling you, unless you can solo that content, it really has no effect whatsoever. I can go, all these runs where we do in like 12 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever time we do it on, our stats are all jacked because they don't matter. As long as everybody's doing their artifacts and they attack, you're going to beat it. And just focus on learning how to play your character. Focus on getting your stuff that helps the team, i.e. your artifact, and you'll be golden. And then when you get to master content, you're already halfway there because you know how to use your artifact. When I host, my most common thing I ask for is know how to use an artifact, because there's so many players who in this game who do not know how to use it. Yes, I know you press L1 and triangle, right, on the PS4 controller. When I say use it, it means know how to use it, when, why, and what type. I could be really wrong on this. Please comment below if you disagree. Number 5, this is the last one. This is unbelievable. I'd heard rumors about it. It's 100% confirmed now. They're banning players in this game for doing this event. I have no idea what the criteria is. I have no idea why they're doing it. But if you're in this event and you're not touching your controller, they're going to send you a temporary ban. You will try to log into your account and it will say temporarily suspended. And this is very concerning because I still remember Barovia like it was yesterday, right? You go to log in, you're like, what? Why am I banned? Or like, because you got rough astral diamonds. The rough astral diamonds I still have years later that had no purpose in the game. They banned players for. Most of us got a 7-day. A lot of players got hit with the perma. And I don't think people are getting perma banned this event. But they're getting temporary bans. And that's very concerning because I don't think this game's at a point where we can get rid of players who are just playing the game and logging in and doing this exactly what's intended. I've read the term of service many, many times. And nowhere in the terms of service can it say if you take a phone call, you must log out of the game before doing so. Nowhere does it say that. Nowhere does it say you have to take a bathroom break. You're not allowed to tell the team and put down your headset. Come back. It doesn't say you must log out first. Because the line that's being crossed right now is what is AFK. On PC, I believe Xbox, you got 15 minutes. Xbox might be 30. You're AFK for 15 minutes. You know, you thought it was going to be a 5-minute phone call and it turned into a 15-minute phone call. And now you just did something to get your account banned from Neverwinter. It's unfathomable how these rules can be made up without informing players or to put out some type of warning or put out some type of blog or something to tell players. You know, there's AFK builds. This is an AFK build. I'm using the shittiest gear in the world. There's no, well, these, but there's no outgoing damage. The reason by it is I was worried about my ratings. You know, I want high ratings so that my companion hits harder because that's what makes them hit harder, your ratings and your item level. So I don't give, I'm not worried about any outgoing damage at all. And I didn't go full crazy. You know, I hit enduring precision. You know, that way it has the 100% uptime for crit instead of, you know, a chance on attack. Because Regis gets one attack. So I want it to be as strong as hell. I could have went more FK. I could have put gold into it. I could have put the Wondrous Fortune there to get more RP. I could have put stuff in here that gives me rough AD on every single enemy killed or chance on kill. I didn't go full blown, but I do have full AFK builds. I just haven't shared them on YouTube because it's silly nonsense that you'd have to put a fortune in to get very little return. But you combine that with other factors in the game, and you know it kind of pays off. And to think they're banning players for being logged on and not pressing buttons fast enough is just baffling. They're not introducing any outside software. They're not running any bots. They're not scamming players. They're just sitting there. Like this player, right? Probably not AFK. He's probably doing what I'm doing, checking the auction house, working on his, cleaning up his inventory, working on his appearance, right? Trolling Alliance chat with some jokes, right? This player is not AFK. They're probably having fun doing something in the auction house. This player is probably trying to open up their boxes right now. These players could be perceived as being some kind of violation of some rule that's not written in the term of service and face losing their accounts over. This is ridiculous. I know I shouldn't be concerned about it because it might only be an hour ban. Who knows? But they're getting banned. And the thing about the temp bans is I imagine it puts a strike on your account. Once you have a couple of those, you're considered bad. Next time you're out, right? 3 strikes rule or whatever. I don't know what to think. What I do think, though, is this game's not in a position where they can arbitrarily make up rules and kick players out of the game who've been playing for years that didn't even think they were doing anything wrong. Because this is how this events ran every single year. It's so known. They've actually addressed this multiple times in the past because they know this is how players play. That's why they tried to change the drop rates where you couldn't AFK and get the rewards. But they didn't do a very good job, and the players figured out you can AFK and get more than you were doing if you're following them by coordinating your AFK at specific parts where the enemies spawn, right? This is concerning. This is, I've said it before. I don't recommend a single player put a single penny in this game until this game becomes trustworthy and we can have faith in them that our investment is not going to be taken advantage of. I don't trust this company at all. You know, they just nerfed their Regis, a Zen-only companion. The only way to get the game, that mount, that companion in the game, was from cash only. People say, I bought in the auction house. Yep, but you bought it from somebody who paid for cash. And they're like, well, I didn't pay cash. I got it with the Zen exchange. Well, where did that Zen come from? Came from somebody who paid cash. It is a cash-only, non-player generated companion. And they nerfed it. After years, people were paying 8-9 million AD. Shit, people paid over 12 million AD for that companion. And now they're suspending players from this game who are taking a phone call or going to the bathroom. Who knows what they're doing? We can only assume they don't know what the players are doing when they put down their controller. Yeah, have they logged in and had their accounts going for 33 straight hours? Possibly. But where in the term of service does it say what exactly is considered excessive and not excessive? It's a very gray line to make up rules as we go along. I don't know. You could completely disagree with it. Some people are like, screw the AFK players. They shouldn't be getting anything. Okay, yeah. You know, a lot of people had that mentality. Now, guess what they're doing? They're like these players, just sitting here not doing anything. Well, it looks like they're not doing anything, but we don't know what they're doing. They could be working on their appearance right now, for all we know, or trolling zone chat, or trolling alliance chat. And I enjoy it because this alliance, this zone chat is funny as hell right now. These guys, man, they have so much time on their hands. We could take this collective genius in this zone chat and turn it into a bestseller. It's great. And now they're trying to prevent players from having fun doing that by banning them. What a joke. Yeah, and I know at first I thought it was a rumor, and then I was partially confirmed. Now it's confirmed. And there's no message came out on this. I don't know how many players it's affecting. Every one of them I heard of is a PC player though. The rumor is it's only happening when players are being reported. And God, that means people are literally taking the time out of their gameplay to write customer service and complain about another player, about their play style. What a joke. This game, man, it has so much going for it, and then they shoot themselves in the foot. Banning players. You know, some players, they say, your account's only suspended for 2 hours. Welcome back. And that's their last straw. They're like, oh, no, you're fine. You don't have to worry about it. I'll never be back. You guys just showed that you don't give a shit about me. You've proved it over the years, but now I know for a fact. I cannot believe this is happening. Well, anyways, there's my 5 random thoughts from all these endless hours being down here in Westburn Caverns. Uh, Feel free to comment if you agree or disagree. I love the disagrees. I really appreciate when people are critical. Stay class, Neverwinter. See you soon.